I like the South. The only time I don't like the South is, well, listen, like, we make fun of the South because we, like, stereotype them as stupid. The truth is, there's stupid people everywhere. Like me, I thought I had bed bugs and threw all my stuff away. It turned out I had my first bout of hives. That's pretty stupid. But I sound like this, so people give me more credit. People in the South, like, there's dumb people everywhere. They're just louder about it, you know? Like, it's like, hey, if you're dumb, wouldn't you keep it down? And not all of them, but a lot of, like, the loudest ones are like, like, it's really, it's like, woo, keep that down. That was really dumb what you just said. That you want to keep at a whisper. I was about to get on this plane, and it was a really big plane, and there was like a redneck couple in front of me, and I guess they'd never been on this plane this big, and this guy in front of me was like, oh boy, I've never been on a plane like that. It just sounded like a dirt bike they revved, and then ran out of gas. They get really excited, and then just put around.
Wow. Now it feels like a meeting, all right? The head poobah is here. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with the next. Oh wow, there's so many people. The fire marshal doesn't know about this. I didn't realize how many people were jammed on to the left. You're like, whoa, wow, okay. I hope nobody has to pee ever in that area. I like it. It's my first time here, the Attic Comedy Club, and I like it when comedy clubs have a name that's spot on. You know, there's no surprises. You're like, we're going to the attic. There will be stairs, all right? I hope no one showed up and went, stairs? Really? It should have been a dead giveaway. This is wonderful. This is my first, I don't know this neighborhood. It looks like you guys are trying to decide which way you're going to go with it. I don't know, you know? I'm not here to judge. I just like did a couple laps and I'm like, yeah, okay, whoa, all right, yeah. It's very, you know? Like the mayor just kind of went, I don't know, man, whatever. Just do what you feel. So it's good. I've been to Columbus before. I think I did a show at a church. Like, I think that's where it was, the Rivers Crossing Church, maybe. It's like a big ass church. And that's not how it was advertised on Google. It's big. It was very big. I was surprised. And I think that was in Columbus or just outside. But it's good. You guys are named after Christopher, probably. Maybe. I love that you don't know. I love that. You guys are like, are we? He just checked with his wife. He's like, are we? Is that? Is it Christopher? There's also a Philip, isn't there? Good old Philip Columbus. He's the first one to bring agriculture to Ohio. Good old Philip. I like Christopher. I mean, wait, I forget how we feel about him. You guys ever do that? You ever remember someone from history and you're like, wait, did he get canceled after death? If you get canceled 500 years later, that's, you know, you did your best. For what? Like, if they didn't know for 500 years, and then they're like, wait a second, you know. He was the guy that found out the Earth was round, you know, 500 years ago. And then up until 10 years ago, someone with a YouTube page was like, it's actually flat. I don't know if you guys know that. That's an argument now. There's people that are like, no, it's flat. And you're like, that's so, oh man, what an idiot Columbus is. How did he get over there? He went to the middle part. That's how. That's how. Anyway, it's very good to be here. I had a very weird day. I woke up I went to sleep at like midnight. I tried to go to sleep early because I had an early flight, but my wife's like, really? We're not gonna watch TV? And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna watch some TV. So we watched Only Murderers in the Building. Yeah, love that show. Love it. I just want to dress like Steve Martin. That's my only goal. Steve Martin in that, do you know how he dresses? I love that show. I think that's the life goal of all of us in this room. We want to live in an apartment and not have a job. They don't have a job. I don't know what their jobs are on only murderers in the building. Of just not murdering people. I guess they make enough money to do that. But Steve Martin looks so damn classy, and I'm like, I want a little piece of that. You know? Just the attire, not Steve Martin. And as soon as I said it, I was like, whoa, I'm coming in really hitting on Steve Martin. But so we stayed up late watching that, and I woke up at 3:30 in the morning to go to the airport. So I don't know if I really... Do you ever do that, where you go to sleep so late and wake up so early? You're like, I don't know if I even fell asleep. It was one of those where I think I just blinked too long. Was that a dream or a thought? I don't know. And that's what happened. The Lyft picked me up, and I went to the airport early because I got a new credit card that lets me into the lounge. So I go to the airport an hour early so I can get those free eggs. Otherwise, I feel like I'm wasting this credit card. And it's not even, I don't know if you guys have ever been to a lounge. It's fine. You know, I think the only good part is they don't let kids in there. Because, you know, no one wants to waste their free pass on a kid. So it's just no kids in there. But the food is just food you would get. It's free breakfast from like a hotel. You know, you ever stay at like a Fairfield Inn? And then you're like, whoa, how do they get those eggs that sweaty? It's a lot of that, but I feel like I'm being treated better because I have a purple credit card. And they're not allowed in here. So I went early, I got the sweaty eggs. And I hopped on my flight and got to Cleveland, and I didn't realize that that's not close. I do my own routing, and you know, I have a show Sunday in in Sandusky, and then so I'm like, that's also not near? Wow, I really messed this whole thing up. My wife laughs at me so much because I'm so disorganized. She's like, wait, you're not going on no sleep, and do you have a long drive when you land? And I go, no, it's Columbus, Christopher and Cleveland, they know each other. They're right there. Don't worry about it. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, do you have everything set up? And I looked. No hotels booked. Nothing. That's who I am. And I'm just last second like, I need a place to stay in Columbus. And so then no sleep, hop in a rental car. And I just want a coffee, you know, because I'm about to kill everybody on the highway. Because I know I'm one of those people. I won't just crash myself and be like, let's take that minivan out. So I just saw Starbucks on one of the freeway come off over here situations, and you know the advertisements. So I pulled over, got in there, and there's like a line. And you know when you're in public and you're like, people can tell that I haven't slept, and I'm just kind of waddling like this. Have you ever been intoxicated while not being intoxicated? Just kind of that. It was that lack of sleep that I was telling my order to myself in my head before it was my turn, so I wouldn't just go up there and go, huh. It was one of those. So I'm in my head going, you're gonna get a bacon, egg, and Gouda sandwich, and you're gonna get a sweet cream cold brew. That's what you're gonna get. So I'm just standing there going, bacon, egg, Gouda sandwich, sweet cream cold brew. And I know me, and I know my face was showing it to everybody else. So everyone's just standing there. I'm just looking. I was so ready. I had the order memorized in my head. I'm holding my credit card. That's how ready I am. I'm not gonna dig around. That pair of shorts had a zipper on the pocket. I'm not messing around with it. I'm holding my credit card, going. And then it's my turn, and the lady behind the counter goes, ooh, are you paying with credit card? I'm like, uh-huh. And she goes, our system is down. You can only pay through the app or cash. And I went, bacon, egg, Gouda sandwich, sweet cream cold brew. And she threw me for a loop with that, because I'm like, we didn't plan this, you know? And she just said, I can't, you can't, I don't, you know? And I just remember I paused for way too long. And then I finally said, I don't have either of those things. And she goes, I'm so sorry. And I went, okay. And then I waddled out of the Starbucks to go drive more. I had never been in a situation like that before where it was so bizarre because it was like, I felt like I was in no man's land because it was like the most modern way to pay, like through an app, which I'm like, I don't have the Starbucks app, or like I'm buying heroin in an alley, just cash. And you're like, nothing with this? Venmo, PayPal, anything. I don't know. So that was that. And then I finally made it to the hotel, checked in. I slept from like 11 to 3. And then I got up, went to go work out, which was cool. Went to the old hotel gym and did a half hotel gym workout. And I don't know if you guys ever work out at a hotel, but when someone else comes into the hotel gym, that you just hate that person forever. You're like, what, you too? Like, there can't be two lonely people at this hotel, you know? And so there's another person there, and I'm like, I hate you. And afterwards, I went to go get a salad at the bistro. It's a Courtyard Marriott, you know, which I like the Courtyard Marriott because they have food there that you can buy, and they have a Mediterranean grain bowl. I stay at a lot of Marriotts. I know the menu. I don't even look. I don't have to do the, I'm like, Mediterranean grain bowl, chicken, please. And they gave it to me, and I went up to my room, and they gave me a spoon and a knife. And I ate my salad with a spoon and a knife like a psychopath. Like I think that's how serial killers get ready for their evening's activities. They sit there and eat a salad with a spoon, go, oh, I'm gonna kill someone good tonight, you know? And I was just, that's what today's been. That's what today's been. It's just been, you can't get a coffee, here's a spoon for your salad. And as soon as I got up here, I looked at the stairs, I'm like, that's right, the attic. All right, yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it, shared it, subscribed to it, hit the notification bell, do all the things YouTube makes you want to do. Other than that, I wanted to let you know that I'm constantly on tour, so go to my website, zoltancomedy.com, and see if I'm coming to a town near you. Thank you kindly.
We're here, Shank Hall, Milwaukee, on a Friday. I know, yeah, it's hard to get excited. I get it. It's still kind of the summer. And it was cloudy, but you're here. It was a building named aggressively. Some of you turned to loved ones, and you're like, where are you going? I'm going to Shank Hall. Leave the light on, all right? But I love it, because you come in, and it's exactly what you want it to be. Just a bunch of pictures and good lighting. It feels warm. There's carpet. I love it. Good, thick carpet, just like your old airport. So I don't think I've ever landed in Milwaukee before. Today was my first time landing in Milwaukee. And great. I liked it. But you can tell, anytime you can tell how old an airport is as soon as you put that rolly bag down, and if it's like, oh, we got thick carpet, all right. This was built before they started putting wheels on luggage. This is back in the 80s when people used to carry their bags like men, just carry them. And now we got wheels. That needs to be hardwood for the quick squeak squeak, you know? But I like it. The rental car station was right there, right next. That's where you want it to be. I don't like a shuttle. I don't like that. I don't know what I don't know what people did to shuttle drivers that make them drive the way they do. They're like, oh, did you just get off a flight in the middle of the air? And you didn't get nauseous? Well, check this out. Because I have a school bus with the worst suspension you've ever seen. And we got a lot of turns to get over to the rental car station. Oh boy, get ready for a little nausea. But not here. I like it. It was connected. It's connected, but it also looked temporary at the same time. I don't know if you've rented a car at your own airport. That would be weird if you did. Something horrible happened that day if you had to take an Uber to the airport with no luggage. That looks like you're there for an event. That looks like you're there for something you're going to be on the news for later. If an Uber driver drops you off at the airport without any luggage, you're like, no, I'm here to pick up a rental car. Our car's broken. So if you don't know, there's a rental car thing. It's connected to the airport, but it's temporary. There's no hard signs. You get over there, it's just little sandwich boards that you don't even pay attention to. They're like, are you trying to get rental cars? Go down the elevator. And you don't see that. You're on the phone going, I don't know what I'm doing. And then you miss it. You miss it 4 times, and you get down there, and it just looks like they're closing up all the time. It looks like they're getting ready to move the rental car shack to somewhere else. But yeah, that was my day coming in. It was nice. It was nice. Almost didn't make it. Flew in from New York City, and my flight got delayed. They delayed it the night before. Do you ever have that? Where you have a flight the next day, and they let you know the night before? They're like, don't even bother waking up. Your flight's later. And you're like, that's not a good start. That's never good when they delay your flight 12 hours before. You're like, that's not weather related. Something's wrong with the plane. They're missing a plane, or they're missing human beings. And so I showed up a couple hours later, went to the gate that was supposed to say Milwaukee, and it said Portland, Maine. And it said the flight had left. And I don't know if you've ever had that, where you go to the gate and it doesn't say the city you want to go to, and it says the city that it did say that plane's gone. And then you're looking at your phone, and you're like, yeah, this is the gate you're supposed to be at. Then I Google it, and Google's like, yeah, that's where you're supposed to be at. So it's just me and a bunch of strangers that don't want to talk to each other. We're just kind of giving each other the eye, like, you trying to get to Milwaukee? You're just trying to judge everybody based on their cholesterol levels. Like, are you trying to... You're going to Milwaukee, aren't you? Just be straight up with me. You're going to Milwaukee, all right? And so we're all doing that, and then some poor Delta employee just like stumbled behind the counter, and he's like, his first words are, I'm not supposed to work this flight. That was his opening sentence. After the flight was already supposed to take off 10 minutes ago, and we're all just standing there not knowing. He's like, I don't know. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to work at another counter, but I noticed no one was here and everyone looks confused. Just so you know, that information is from that plane that already left. Your plane, I don't think, is here yet, but I think when it shows up, new information will come up on the board. He took 10 minutes to let us know he knew less than we did. I don't know if I'm shocked I'm here right now. I can't believe I made it here. I'm like, this is the guy. No one even called him to be there. He was just walking by going, yeah, that's the airline I work for. I better start talking, or this is gonna be about 100 bad Yelp reviews. But I made it, you know. It's been a wild week, man. Wild week. Did you guys see that guy who broke out of prison? Yes. Did you guys see that? I saw that on while I was waiting for my flight that didn't take off. I had a lot of time to scroll videos. There's a man who broke out of a penitentiary, a full-on prison in like Philadelphia, I think. I forget where it happened. But if you didn't see it, they have security footage of it, and it's wonderful because the way he did it is I don't know how to do this without doing it, but he climbed the wall by putting his legs there and his arms there, and he reverse Spider-Man'd it up and jumped a wall. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was like, honestly, it just looked like he was filming like a TikTok challenge and accidentally escaped prison along the way. That's what it looked like. It looked like he was like, yeah, we got time to kill, check this out. And then he's like, wait a second. And then just drilled it over the top. That was amazing. I feel like, man, how embarrassing is that for the guy who designed the prison? You know, that guy's probably a retired architect at home having coffee with his wife. And his wife probably found it. And she's like, didn't you design that prison? And he's like, yes. And then he had to watch the video of that guy going, scoop, 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 scoop. Like, well, I didn't think of that. Either that or he did. And he was just like, you know, like really creative design. And people are like, did you make it so nobody can escape? It's like, pretty much. Unless they think outside the box. But that's why I love that there's security cameras everywhere, because everything is getting caught now. Everything is getting caught. I love that everyone has a Ring doorbell.
I love it. My whole Instagram feed is just footage of people coming home and tripping on their porch, and I love it. I love it. I think that's mostly what people are catching. It's catching like maybe 1% of porch pirates, which that's not even a video. It's just some guy looking in the camera going, and then he runs off. Especially in the winter when people come out, their whole thing's frozen up. They're out there with like a dislocated back. I don't even know if that's an injury, but probably. And then their significant others just laughing, going, got the Ring doorbell. This is why we got it. Rented a car. I got a nice rental car. I got an Audi A3, which is very nice. I know. I drive I own a Honda Fit, so this is a big upgrade for me. It took, you don't know how long it took me to figure out how to raise the volume on the radio. It was embarrassing. I was on the road just trying to figure out, you know what it was? I'd never seen this before. There was a circle and it's a touch screen. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. It just went, you go bloop, you just run your finger on, there's no nut, you just run your finger on it. Like you snuck into the kitchen at midnight to get a little bit of peanut butter on your gums. You just run it, and then there's the tunes. I was embarrassed how long that took me. I'm embarrassed how long a lot of things take me. I don't know, man. Like because my wife and I, we keep thinking about having kids, but then like I'm like, I should know more stuff. Like I remember, because kids ask questions. I was on a flight once, and there's a young kid next to his mother, and he's like, how do airplanes fly, Mommy? And she answered. And I leaned in, because I was like, yeah, how do airplanes fly? I'm not 100% sure. And she answered the question. It was early. I doubt she got a full night's sleep. And she's like, well, honey, something. I dozed off. I didn't get it. I think she said, well, it goes really fast, and then it's got the arms out. Like, I wouldn't be good at that. Like, if I had a kid, and like, Daddy, how do airplanes go? I'm like, I don't know. We're in the back, so we don't need to know. That's for that guy up there to know. We paid $400. That's how it flies, sweetheart. Pay $400, and then it magically goes. I just feel like you're supposed to know stuff. I'm embarrassed how long it took me to find out that raisins are grapes. 33. That's when and not that I didn't, it's not that I was stupid, I just never thought of it. It never came up. And then one day I was like, someone had a picture, it was like online, of raisins and grapes, and they were like, and I was like, whoa! Oh my God, I can't have kids. I gotta at least live a life 10 more years, learn some more stuff before I start raising something. It's hard, man. I'm also not, I feel like you have to be patient with the kid, and sometimes I try to be, but it depends on the hour of the day, Like Miso, our cat, she eats too much, so she throws up, and I woke up to her throwing up on our bed. It was like at 6 a.m. early, and I was asleep, and I just heard, and my first thought was, I thought it was Emma obnoxiously drinking water. That's what I thought it was. My first thought was, seriously? You're just gonna some water right now? I don't even know why I thought that. She doesn't drink like that. I've never heard my wife drink like that, but for some reason, oh, Emma, just glurping water. And then I opened my eyes, and there's Miso going, and I just went, damn it, no! And I shoved her off. And I tried to get her before she yacked on the comforter, but it was too late. She had already yacked on the comforter, and then so she left a trail that went to the carpet. And that's when I'm like, yeah, I'm not ready for kids. You can't do that to a kid. You can't wake up and have a baby going, nay! Can't do that. They frown on that, from what I've seen in the documentaries. Not ready. I don't know. Maybe one day. I don't know if my wife's ready either.
Like, she loves the cats, but I don't think she thinks about them all the time. We had a fire at it wasn't a fire at our apartment, but it was a fire somewhere on our street. But we couldn't tell. Like, the fire department was everywhere. They knocked on our building's, like, buzzer. And then we came down. They're like, is there a fire? And we're like, is there a fire? Like, what a weird way to ask. No, I don't know. And they're like, it must be somewhere else. So we ran outside. And then once we were outside, I'm like, oh my God, the cats. And she goes, there's no time. And I'm like, the building's not even on. What do you mean there's no time? They'll let me know. Like, oh my God, if there's a fire in the middle of the night and I don't wake up, I don't even think I'll get a nudge. I don't even think I'll get a courtesy, hey! She'll just be out there throwing rocks at the window. Going, I tried. I don't know. I tried. I was already in a Red Cross tent wearing a blanket having cocoa. I tried to get you, but you weren't in time. Wow. It's wonderful. Yeah. I don't know. I've forgiven I don't think I was ever mad at my mother, but I forgive her. I don't know. Maybe that was a Freudian slip right there. I'm like, I don't think I was ever mad at her. Maybe. I don't know. She's wonderful. She's funny. She's funny without trying to be. Just because she's Hungarian and English is her second language. We had a family friend who had a baby, and she texted me a photo, and in the text underneath, she wrote, Marika just had her baby was just burned. And you know that's not what she meant. Like, she wanted to say borned. And then, but she wrote burned, and I laughed. And I'm like, because clearly I could tell the baby wasn't burned. It was a healthy baby. They were in a hospital. You guys were like, wait, what happened? What was happening in this photo? While you were just laughing like a maniac. Happy, healthy baby. But my mom had a typo. And then I texted her back. I'm like, do you mean burned or borned? And then the phone auto-corrected me to burned. So I texted back, burned or burned. And that's when I found out borned isn't a word. Like, you see what I mean? I'm not ready for kids. Like, I need to learn more things. Like, I was texting her back to make fun of her English, and I don't know it either. So I'm like, yeah, borned. Everyone likes being borned. Yeah. It's wild. It was as a wrestling fan. Oh, thank you so much. Welcome to Wisconsin. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you. I was done. I was like, oh, once I finish, I'll order one. But you guys just came in and you're like, he looks like he'll be thirsty soon. But yeah. Oh, and you got the right beer? Oh no, that's a different one, but I like it. Spotted Cow? Oh, that's the local. All right. Well, I'll have to give that a taste. Wisconsin only? No, you guys don't export. No, there's no, all right. You guys are being a little North Korea about this beer right now. Someone's being a real Kim Jong-un about the local IPA, apparently. Nothing leaves our borders. This is for Wisconsinites. If I see that beer in Illinois, I swear. It's wonderful. I wouldn't have known that. Spotted Cow, only in Wisconsin. I'm gonna say that in Madison. I'm gonna have this, and I'm gonna be like, you know, this is only in Wisconsin, and they're gonna be like, how does he know us so well? He's a magician.
Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it, shared it, subscribed to it, hit the notification bell, do all the things YouTube makes you want to do. Other than that, I wanted to let you know that I'm constantly on tour, so go to my website, zoltancomedy.com, and see if I'm coming to a town near you. Thank you kindly.
Hey! All right! Whoa! Holy guacamole. All right. That's a lot of energy for a Wednesday. That's a little much for where we are right now. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for all showing up. I didn't know who would show up on a Wednesday, and you guys are like, we're coming. You know? I appreciate it. This is beautiful. I've never been to Stamford before, so it's so good to be here at the New York Comedy Club in Stamford. This is what you think of when you think New York comedy, you know? A mall in Stamford, Connecticut. That's what, you know? When I think of the Big Apple, I think of valet parking in front of the Capitol Grill. That's what I think of. Thank you so much for coming. This is wonderful. What a nice... You guys are so far away. There's like a weird distance there, isn't there? I like it. This is like that's a fall for me. If I go down, I'm not getting up. I will let you know. I got a bad knee. I took a class at the Y this morning, and my wife and I, we signed up at the YMCA, and we took a group class, and I showed up, and it was a lot of older ladies. But I'm not arrogant. I know where my fitness level is, and I'm like, this is going to be tough. And it was. My left knee still hurts. So if I go down, please help. All right? It's not part of the show. TJ and I, the guy you saw earlier, he and I drove up. I just moved to New York City. I live in Brooklyn. And he picked me up and we drove up here. And I don't have a car. That was like one of the exciting things of moving to New York City from San Diego. I was like, I can get rid of my Honda Fit. And I don't have to tell people I drive a Honda Fit, you know? Having no car is better than driving a Honda Fit. Because when I would tell people I drove a Honda Fit, they're like, oh, things aren't going too good, huh? And I'm like, what? There's so much room for groceries. It's a sensible vehicle. But now, if you just tell people you don't have a car, they're like, wow, you're so good. You're a good person. They think I'm helping the environment by risking my life on the subway every day. You know? And so I don't have a car. So he came and picked me up. We drove up here, and the entire drive was a reminder of how happy I am to not have a car in this part of the country. I saw madness out there. I saw madness. We almost got hit doing 0 miles an hour, which I've never had that happen before. I don't even know what street we were on. We weren't moving, and there's a street coming this way. They have a stop sign that says, stop. But it just meant creep. And they were getting so close that I'm like, we should exchange information, at least. They just kept creeping on us. And I'm like, what's happening right now? And TJ's like, yeah, this is how they drive here. And I'm like, I would lose my mind if that's what happened. And then we were on the freeway. I don't know if it was a freeway or just, I don't know. You guys have different ones here, you know? In California, we had interstates, and you guys have different ones that look like interstates, but they're not, and some are, but they aren't. And you have speed limits on them, but no one can go them because there's too many people on them. So it's just kind of a tease, isn't it? You know, they're like, you could go 60 if it wasn't for everyone in front of you. So you're just gonna roll along at about 15. How do you care about that? But we were on some road, and there was a dude on a scooter, no helmet. Which I don't know if you guys have helmet laws or if this is a show your intelligence state. But no helmet on a scooter, not a motorcycle, a scooter. So he's extra tough. Like, I don't even think scooters are allowed on the interstate. I think you're supposed to ride those on sidewalks to deliver soup. Like, I think that's what those are made for. This guy's on the interstate in a scooter, no helmet, ass crack sticking out. A lot of it, all right? A lot of it. Like, enough that I was about to talk about it until I realized what he was doing. He stopped on the freeway because things were going slow enough. And he picked up a rock and he took off to chase another vehicle that he was apparently in a road rage situation with. And this car was trying to get away from this ass crack scooter, and he's just waving a rock. And TJ didn't say anything about it, which scared the hell out of me. Because that let me know this is just Wednesday. That's what that let me know. I think he just kind of looked at me. He's like, I'm glad it's not a gun. And I'm like, it gets worse? Man. It's pretty impressive when you have no helmet on a scooter on the interstate and 2 feet of your ass crack is sticking out. And that's not the weirdest thing that happened. It's like, what about that rock he's about to bludgeon that person with? I like it. I'm trying to fit in. I'm trying to fit into big city living. I grew up in the suburbs of San Diego in a trailer park. which I don't know if you guys have trailer parks out here. I haven't seen any. But it's different. It's different, and I'm trying to get used to not reacting to every noise I hear. Like I've noticed that if you walk around the city and you hear someone just yell, you don't have to look. You don't have to stop what you're doing and go, huh? That's like a really big lesson to learn, you know? If someone's just like, hey, you don't have to look at that. You don't have to look and make eye contact with the last person you've ever wanted to make eye contact with. Because I'm the worst. Once I make eye contact, I can't break eye contact. I have that disorder, whatever that is. If I make eye contact with somebody, I'm like, we're in this now. Hey! And I'm like, I want to break away, but I can't. I don't know what that part is. Why can't I break eye contact once I've gotten in? I don't know. It's weird. It's dangerous, but it's exciting. I like it. I like a little bit of excitement. It feels good. California, what's happening out there? A fire? Ah. You see that coming, you know? On the subway, you're like, ugh. Might get shoved. I might jump. Don't know. That was a little dark. I apologize. You guys are like, why don't you temper it down? It's Wednesday. But yeah, I like it. There's good camaraderie in the city. I feel like there's an understanding. I feel like there's a good community there. I feel like there is. Like we were on the train, I did a show and I was on the train home and there was a wild man that got on the train. I don't know the new term, so I apologize. I know the one I think it is, but I'm probably wrong because they always change the term. And so I'm just going to make up my own, all right? I'm going to take a guess. It's probably going to be the next term, all right? He was mentally spectacular. He came on... I actually think that might be the next term. I think I'm ahead of the game. That's not even offensive. It's half a compliment if you think about it. A mentally spectacular man came on the train, and he built into a rage. Like he was fine in the beginning, and he crescendoed into a monster truck announcer. And it started slow. It started with you know, like that on a silent car, you're like, and no one looked but me, because I haven't learned not to look, you know. I just heard, and I went, and we made eye contact, and I'm like, damn it. And then I tried to break eye contact, but he had me. But then he broke eye contact, which I'm like, is that a win for me? How does that work? Did I just intimidate him? Hell yeah. I got way more testosterone than I think, you know. I was in that state of mind, and then he broke eye contact and went, and slowly he just built to a fervor and just started fighting ghosts. I don't know what he was doing. He chokeslammed a ghost that didn't exist. I watched him do it, and I was like, that was a picture-perfect chokeslam. Like, if we actually sat down and talked, I think we'd both be wrestling fans. You know, I think we have something to connect on. But here's where I felt the sense of community. There's like 8 of us on the train, and him. And while he was doing his thing, me and this elderly Asian man just kind of we had a moment. And we looked at each other and we just had a moment like, I got you, you know? I was like, I could tell, we didn't even raise an eyebrow. It was just I was like, if something happens, I got you. If something happens, you got me. Like, I felt that understanding. And I'm like, this is the kind of community I was looking to get into. And then at the next stop, he got off. And I'm like, you traitor! You're supposed to get off at 7th. I got more stops. You left me with the crescendo. So that's what it's been out there. It's been, you know, it's been good. Going to the YMCA, working out with the elderly ladies, and it's good. I don't have the knees for it. I don't know. It's been good. I just got married, which I'm really excited about. Yeah. Got the old. It's always. Men never show off the wedding ring. It's always the women because there's a lot to it. And men, we have stupid fingers. No man has ever had good fingers. Women have beautiful fingers, and they just look good, you know, for fingers. You know, no one ever thinks a finger's beautiful until you see a man's fingers, and you're like, oh, you got a hair? How'd you get a hair out of that? What kind of burn at? What happened to your nails? Did you lose that nail? Like, there's every man's fingers look like they were in a horrible woodshop accident in high school, and sometimes the fingers don't match. It's bad, you know? No one ever shows off the phalanges. And that's the other word for fingers. Sorry, I'm not trying to flex my high school education on you guys, but I heard phalanges once, and it felt appropriate to drop.
we got married. That's what I was talking about. We eloped to Italy, which was how we got married. Yeah, we eloped. If you don't know what an elopement is, that's when you realize you can have way more fun at your wedding if nobody comes. That's what an elopement is. That's when you crunch the numbers and you realize, oh my God, if nobody comes, we can go to Italy. If we don't have to feed and drink everybody, we can go to Italy. And then we weighed our love for our family against a trip to Italy, and we're like, au revoir, you know? Which that's not even Italian, but it doesn't matter because they're not coming anyway, you know? You'll find out on another trip. So we went to Italy. We got married in Venice in a empty square at sunrise. We had to wake up early because we didn't want the tourists in our photos. We wanted it to look like we rented out Venice. And you can do that, but you got to get your ass up at 5 a.m. to do that. And so it was just us and like one janitor sweeping. And we got married. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I loved Italy. Italy is the people. They're so vibrant, and there's no shy people in Italy. Everyone's very It's all the caricatures that you ever thought of. They're all there. It's wonderful to see. I even saw an old couple in Florence get into an argument, and they got into in the street, just a full-on and then she's like and then he grabbed her and shook her. He actually shook her, and her head went, and her sunglasses fell off, and she broke away and ran. And it was weird because it was domestic violence, but it was in Italian, so you know what I mean? It was kind of beautiful. It was like we were at the opera, and I'm like, don't call the police. There's a second act. We don't know how this is going to end, you know? It was just the culture, you know? It's a dumb joke, I agree, but that's what I felt. My wife was like, that is so horrible. I'm like, but it's art, you know? Art comes from this. This is good. You see that in Connecticut, you call the cops. You see that? In Florence, you're like, let's see where this goes. And it's so beautiful. We don't have beautiful stuff like that. No, we do, but it's different. It's got an air of grunge to it, you know? I like the East Coast. Maybe it's because I'm new. Maybe in 6 more months I'll be like, I hate it here, and I'm moving back. You know, but I like it. It's just, New York City feels like, it's a cat. It's pretty much what it is, you know? It's just like a cat. It doesn't need you around. It doesn't necessarily want you around. But if you work hard enough, it might tolerate you. You know? It's exactly what the city is. It doesn't need you. It'll be fine if you never come. But if you work really hard, you might be able to sit on the couch and not be clawed in the face. It's a little bit right there. But yeah, my wife and I think we're a good match. I know we are, but I also say think because I always want to hedge my bets, you know. We're a good match because I realize together we make a whole person. I think separately, I don't think we should be allowed to vote, but together there's like a normal person. You know what I mean? I think that's what makes a good relationship. Not two complete people getting together, two broken, missing people. But you have to be missing the right things. You have to be missing the things that the other person has so you can kind of fit together like a broken puzzle piece that you're like, it's gonna work, you know? That's what it is. Like, here's my example. Like, my wife is a hypochondriac. Every morning she wakes up with a brand new disease. And that's fun, unless you're me. It's pretty wild. Every morning she'll just be like, what's that? Do you hear that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, that, do you hear that? And she'll hold her wrist to my ear. And she's like, do you hear that? And I'm like, kinda. And she's like, was that there yesterday? I'm like, I don't know, we didn't do this yesterday. I don't have yesterday's wrist noises to compare to today's wrist noises. She's like, oh, you never listen. And then she leaves. And after like 3 hours of Googling, she comes back and she's like, it's wrist cancer. And I'm like, obviously, you know, what else could it be? So that's who she is. My wife's a hypochondriac. And me, I've had a pain in my left testicle for about 6 years. And I've just been riding that out, you know? See what I mean? Like, separately, but together you're like, okay, yeah, there's like a normal person in between them. And she's like, you should get that testicle checked out. I'm like, all right, but shut up about your wrist, you know? And I actually tried in February to get health insurance to get this checked out.
And because here's the reason I never got it checked out. I have a 7-day rule. That's a personal rule. If something hurts on my body, I give it 7 days. And if it still hurts, I'll go to the doctor and get it checked out. The problem with this testicle pain is it would come for like 2, 3, 4 days. And then it would stop. And then come back like a couple weeks later, and I would start my clock over again. And it was just this year I realized I've been doing that since 2017. So, and she's like, you should get it checked out. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. And so I tried to get health insurance in February. And did you know you can't? Did you know there's a time limit? You guys you've been insured your entire lives. I just let some big cat out of the bag, didn't I? You guys are like, no, we live respectable lives. I've been insured since I was a mere child. On the docks of I don't know. I don't know where the docks are here. I was gonna guess a town. Hamptons or something. You're not giving me any clues. All right. But yeah, I'll let you know if you can't just get health insurance whenever, and I didn't know that. I did not know that, so I called like an idiot, and I was like, hello, one health insurance, please. And they were like, what? You missed it. And I'm like, missed the health insurance? And they're like, yeah, there's open enrollment from Thanksgiving till the end of January. You missed it. And I'm like, but my testicle hurts now. I don't think you understand. Like, what do you mean open enrollment? She's like, yeah, didn't you see the commercials? I'm like, yeah, I saw the commercials, but you know what else has commercials around January? Gyms. And they're all like, come on in. You can sign up for a discount. That doesn't mean you can't get a gym membership in the summer. That just means you can get it cheaper in January. That's all that means. And they're like, no, this one was a real one. Like, it's closed enrollment. And I'm like, but I got a dull toothache in my left nut. We got to figure this out. And she's like, I don't know how to help you. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe we can start by not treating health insurance like a pumpkin spice latte, where you just have it seasonally. Come on, you know? This is America. Like, as an American, that gets me in the patriotic bones. Like, we don't treat anything else like that. Like, if I was like, hey, I'm going to buy an iPhone tomorrow, and you guys are like, in May? You can't buy an iPhone in May. You got to wait till Labor Day weekend. Everybody knows that. Summer solstice. That's when you get iPhones. This is America. You should be able to get it whenever you want. And I told my wife that, and she's a hypochondriac, so she's immediately like, oh my God, what if they got to cut it off? And I'm like, why would that be the first thing you say? Why would you go to the worst possible conclusion when you know I can't make an appointment for 9 more months? Why would you take it to the moon? And she goes, what if? And I'm like, I don't know, what if? And she's like, well, do they put another one in there? And I'm like, I hope. I don't think they'd let me leave with half a grocery bag. Just throw me into the streets off balance, you know? It'd be horrible. So, I had just got it checked out last Monday. My wife made an appointment. She's like, this is dumb. You don't need insurance. You're going to pay for it like a real American. And I'm like, what if it's too much? She's like, you're going to go into debt like a real American. And I was like, okay. And she made an appointment with this guy. I'm not making up his name. His name is Dr. Zoltan. His name is Dr. Zoltan. He's a urologist in New York City. And she told me, and I'm like, you picked because of the name, right? She's like, she's like, it's fate. And I'm like, I don't think you know what fate means. But, and she even called to confirm my appointment while I was on the road. And she goes, I called to confirm your appointment. And the receptionist goes, Zoltan is all set to see Dr. Zoltan. And she giggled a little, and I was like, of course. She's like, don't worry, it's not going to be awkward. You guys will laugh too. And I'm like, yeah, obviously. We're just 2 Zoltans. Just, here are my genitals. You know? I was like, when do you show them off? You know, do you wait for the laughter to die down? I've never done this before. I've never been in a situation where I'm about to show my junk, and there's just been tithering. That's usually not what makes me feel confident, to disrobe. But I went in to see Dr. Zoltan, and I just went in and got naked. My wife came in with me, which I tried to fight her on. And I'm like, let me just go in. And she's like, why? What's the problem if because it feels like when my mom used to come in.
To the doctor's office. Don't forget to tell him about the dull toothache in your left nut. And I'm like, that's why we're here, sweetheart. Like, this is why we made the appointment. And she was there, and I just put my back to her. I'm like, I don't want you to watch I don't want you to watch this is private, So I'm over there, and I just pulled my pen, and I'm just holding, and he gets down there, and he starts doing his thing. And he's like, I think you're good. And it's so funny because he knew the answer I wanted to hear. He knows what I want. It's the same answer hopefully you guys want to hear if you like me enough. You don't want it to be cancer. That's the only thing you want. And he just goes, oh, okay, I think you have a swollen vein going into this testicle. And I'm like, okay. And he's just like, yeah, we'll get a thing to check that out. And he just says more doctor words. And then finally I'm like, come on, man. Is it cancer? And he goes, no. And I'm like, say that first. That should be the first thing you say. You should go, it's not cancer. And I'd be like, hell, get off me. I don't even care what it is now. As long as it's not that, get the hell off me. There's money on the nightstand, Dr. Zoltan. Get off of me. And I had to go back to do an ultrasound. They do I didn't know that. They do ultrasounds if you're pregnant to see the baby, but they also do it for other things like this. And I didn't know that, so I went back, and it wasn't Dr. Zoltan giving me the ultrasound because they have an ultrasound technician, and it was a lady, and it was a lady that kind of resembled my mother, which I didn't know how to feel about that because I'm like, yay, but no. I'd rather it be a dude, but at the same time, you're like, I don't want it to be anyone that looks like anyone I've ever known. I just want it to be a person without a face. Do you have any urologists without a face? Do you have any of those that just come in, no face and no personality, just a robot, that blah, blah, blah. And then they squirt this jelly on you, and I'm just laying there. And then she was so professional. She just looked straight ahead and just made small talk. She was like, sorry I'm late. I was stuck behind a garbage truck all morning. And I was like, there's no, I don't know about you guys, my brain's not on in that moment. My brain is on, and it's sad, you don't look impressive in that moment. It's the saddest it's all ever looked, everything. You're like, oh, man, wow. Not that it's ever looked good, but if there was ever a time it's looked bad, then. Just then. And she's like, you're married? And I'm like, what are you trying to say? She's like, I noticed your ring. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. Shut up with the commentary. Yeah, then they checked it out, and then I was like, did you see anything? She's like, I'm not allowed to say because I'm a urologist, or not a urologist, I'm the ultrasound guy, so you have to talk to the doctor. I'm like, that's such a weird, because just let me know. And no, they'll call you. And they called it a remote visit. But you know what it was? A phone call. Just say it's a phone call. I put a shirt on thinking it's a Zoom meeting. I got ready for this remote doctor visit with Dr. Zoltan. I put a shirt on, put my contacts in, combed my hair, tried to make it look like I didn't just wake up, like I'm a productive member of society. And he just called me. I'm like, is this it? Or are you sending me the Zoom link? He's like, we can just do it over the phone. And I'm like, I agree, but why'd you guys call it a remote visit? It's a phone call. Why are you? And I'm like, is it cancer? That's all I wanted. He's like, you're fine. We looked at the thing, and both of your testicles have enlarged veins, actually. And I was like, okay. And and I'm like, is it cancer? He goes, no. And I go, shut up. We don't need to keep talking. I don't have an end for that story, but I don't have testicular cancer, so I'm pretty...
Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it, shared it, subscribed to it, hit the notification bell, do all the things YouTube makes you want to do. Other than that, I wanted to let you know that I'm constantly on tour, so go to my website, zoltancomedy.com, and see if I'm coming to a town near you. Thank you kindly.
I love Milwaukee. I love it up here. It's like I think it's Wisconsin as a whole. Everyone's friendly, but they look like they have a story. It's a friendliness where you're like, hey, welcome. I live in a boxcar. And you're like, what? Everyone looks like they have a wild story. Like everyone has all their limbs, but they look like they shouldn't. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can describe that well enough. But just the different people that I've met, I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah. It's so friendly, but also like, okay, yeah. We'll keep an eye, yeah. It's a good, healthy laugh over there. I heard that. It's good. So good to be here, man. I flew in yesterday. We came in yesterday. I'm staying in West Milwaukee, I think. It's over by the baseball stadium. Yeah, that's why I hear the murmurs. I hear what you're murmuring. I heard some people go, and I'm like, I get it, because I'm there. It's fine, but also, I'm like, what is it? You know what it is? It's the Walmart. That's what it is. That's what it is. We couldn't tell because we got coffee at Starbucks. We ate a Popeyes because my fiance and I, Emma, we're chain people. You know, we like to go to the local eatery, but it's way out there. So I'm not gonna take an Uber to eat at whatever the hell the local thing is, but I'll go get a Starbucks and be like, Popeye's chicken, sign us up twice, you know? And then we went into that Walmart and I was like, good Lord, what happened to that Walmart? I think before I went there, someone told me, because we went to the Happy Endings Cat Cafe, and the lovely lady that runs it, she's like, oh, you're going to that Walmart? That is the most stolen from Walmart in Milwaukee. And I've never been told that before. Going into a store, it's almost like she said, yeah, I mean, pay if you want, but if you just leave, it won't be weird. You know? Like if you just walk out with some contact solution and a thing of toothpaste, it won't be that weird. Yeah. I like it. I feel like this is the time of year to come, you know? I don't do your winters. I don't do that. I like this. I like it. Yesterday was just cloudy, and this morning was cloudy, and I'm like, I kind of liked it, and then the sun came out, and it just went from cloudy and nice to just sun, and you're like, oh, global warming now. All right. It's like Bill Nye the Science Guy came up and was like, let me show you what global warming feels like. Just sauteed it in there. I don't know if you guys feel about it like I do, but it's weird, man. Like, we just got through a pandemic, and then now global warming, and there's inflation and viruses. Everyone hates each other. I feel like Earth feels like a restaurant that's trying to close. And humanity is that last table in the corner that just isn't getting the hint. Like the servers are coming around vacuuming and the house lights are on and we're just like, what's going on? I think they're trying to close. And we're still here, you know? You laughed way too hard at that in the front. You're with me. It's a little sweaty out there. I love watching it. I watch all the ESPN on the flight out. I watch the Little League World Series. It's my favorite time of year. Love watching the Little League World Series. I don't know what it is I like about it. I like it. I never even played baseball as a kid. I just like it. It's all inclusive. Baseball's so inclusive. Everyone can play. Everybody. There'll be like a chubby kid who weighs like 200 pounds at the age of 12, and he's playing, and then there's a kid that weighs 87 pounds, and he's out there playing, and nobody gets hurt. There's no tackle. It's so inclusive. Everybody, there's not that much running. There's just enough of everything to where everyone gets to feel it. I love it. It made me feel good. And I watched Nicaragua play against Curacao, and there was a chubby kid at the plate on the mound. He was pitching, and he was doing a horrible job. He was having a bad game. And I'm not making fun of him, but he couldn't get it over the plate. Like, he started the game. He had the bases loaded in the first inning, all on walks. And he's just there, and I'm watching him, just having this rough time. He can't do it. He just can't do it, and he's sweating, you know, but he's staying calm. He's staying calm. And I'm like, I think I'm watching this 12-year-old boy become a man on live television. Like, he just keeps trying, and it's not working, but he's keeping his cool. And I think I'd be such a better person now as an adult if I played baseball as a child, because I think that's where you learn to keep trying and failing And you just keep going. Because imagine that. He's just out there pitching, and it's not working. And his whole friend group is just behind him, watching him bomb one after the other. That is great training for adulthood. Once you get to adulthood, and you're like, I don't have the rent. There it is. I just got laid off. All right. My wife just left. And the whole time your friends are behind him going, good Lord. Let's call a huddle. We need to pep him up. Yeah, man, you're doing great. Just keep trying. Just right up. You got it, buddy. Oh, my God. That's great practice for adult life right there. Everyone should be a pitcher as a 12-year-old. I know I can't do it. I can't. I'm 35, and I turned 35 this year. That's a big age for me. Hit 35, and I've realized it's been me all along. You ever make that? I think that's what 35 is for. That's when you realize it's been you. I think in your 20s you have fun, then you hit 30, and you're like, I gotta cut these toxic people out of my life. And then you hit 35, and you're like, oh, it was me? It's been me this entire time? Damn it! I could have thought, I swore it was David. And I haven't seen David in 7 years. It's been me this entire time. Doing my best, man, trying to work on it. I don't know. I fly all the time, so I have status, so I get bumped up. I buy the cheap ticket in the back, because that's what I can afford. But I fly so much, every once in a while, they're like, why don't you come on up to the front, you know? So sometimes I get first class, and I get really pumped when I get first class, because I take advantage, you know? Some people are like, I'm like Kathy Bates on the Titanic. I'm new money, you know? I'm not respected by the elders. They're like, he's not used to this, you know? But today, we got bumped up to Delta Comfort, which is just it's like business class. It's still nice, very nice. I love being bumped up to that. But they put me in the row right behind first class, which is just rude. You can still see everything they get, but you're back here not getting it. It's like I bought a first row ticket to look at their privilege, you know? Just watch somebody. We were watching a guy in first class on his phone, and he paid his American Express bill. His American Express bill was $160,000, and then he paid it, and then just went right back to watching lacrosse. And I'm like, what? Fly private. Like, that should be my seat. If you're casually paying off $160,000 worth of Amex bills and then just going back to... That was me doing a lacrosse attempt right there. I think you should be flying private. No. And I'm not saying because he's rich he's evil or anything. I'm not trying to imply that. What makes him evil is he denied the snacks. If you've ever sat in first class, they feed you and then they come around with a bucket of snacks and you can pick whatever you want. And that's where I turn into Kathy Bates from Titanic, and I'm like, just dump them in my lap, all right? I'm gonna take all of them. But most people respectfully take one or two, and he took none. He went, and I'm like, you turn down free snacks, you're evil. Don't trust that person, because that's the amount of discipline you need to like pollute a lake, you know? That's the amount of internal discipline you need to close a community center and go, no, this is a condo now, walk along. If he would have taken the snacks, I would have been like, this is a good man. But he was also that new breed of middle-aged dude. You know the new breed of middle-aged dude where they're like jacked and have sleeve tattoos, but they're in their 50s? It's just this new breed, and you're like, what era are you from? Like, you make no sense. You're jacked, but you're not healthy either. Like, they also, you know what I mean? Like, big arms, but you get like, your heart's not healthy. Like, you definitely have a clogged artery in there. That's pretty sure you can't run, you know? It's like that kind of jacked. It's the but you're like, man, that's for show, you know? Like, what happens if you really gotta go? You know, you don't have it. And he's just honest. It's the worst kind of muscles to have, where you just have big arms, and then because you don't do anything with them. We just see you in public. You ever see a dude with big arms and he's just texting? It's just these giant arms. It just looks like he's picking a lock or something. What are you swinging all those kettlebells for when you got emails to write on a tiny phone? You gotta keep those fingers nimble there. That's what you gotta do. You can't... It's because everyone's on that Nugenix, you know? I don't know if you guys watch ESPN, but they have commercials for this pill Nugenix, like all the time. It's all these retired athletes that go up to regular men, just living their lives, and they go, hey, you look like crap. You should try Nugenix. And then they go, no, I'm okay. And then their wife goes, well, actually. And then the guy's like gobbling the pills down, swinging a kettlebell. Like, just be, I don't want to do that, you know? I want to age, I just want to be a regular elderly person. If I'm lucky enough to make it to that era of my life, I don't want to be the guy that's like, what if I was like 70 and ripped? No! No one's seen a 70-year-old who's ripped and went, hell yeah. It's like you're in shape, but you're not. Like, it's jacked, but the skin's, it just looks like, you know what I mean? It just looks like they threw an old tarp over a brick wall, and you're like, it's hard, but not in the right ways. This is all wrong. I just want to get regular old, you know? Just slowly stop. Just be calm. I don't know, everyone's so afraid to get old now. I used to work in a retirement home in high school. I worked for 4 years at a retirement home. And so I have a different perspective on getting old. It looks badass. I worked with a bunch of elderly people that told you exactly what they thought. And in between telling you their blunt, unfiltered opinions, they just hung out. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to just sit around and go, the salad is wrong. That's like the idea. That's what you should be shooting for. Not like, I'm a 70-year-old jiu-jitsu black. Why? Your joints are screaming. You're not fooling anybody.
What's that?
But I told you to go to Slaps instead.
Okay, what? Oh, you left the comment on Facebook. Yeah, I asked for barbecue recommendations, and a bunch of people said, Joe's, and you go to Slaps. And and that was the voice that I heard when I read the comments. That's how I knew it was you. Hey, we are here. We made it. I love it. This is my first time working in Kansas City. This is my first time working at a comedy club this close to a subway. So it's pretty exciting. I like that. Some of you guys are giggling, some of you guys are like, that's how we like it, alright? We like ending a comedy with a footlong. That's how we do it. Go get ourselves a sandwich. It's so good to be here. This is wild, man. First time in Kansas City. I love this club, just called The Comedy Club. I wonder how long that meeting took, you know? Was there a lot of back and forth? Like, what about the comedy club? Like, no, we're going hard the. That's what we're doing. But here we are inside. I like it. We're here we're in Missouri, right? This is, all right. I have to check. I've been confused since Thursday, all right? I came in on Thursday. I'm performing because this is in Missouri, but my hotel is in Kansas, and I have no clue where I landed, all right? Like, I think I crossed the state line 4 times trying to come from the airport. I don't know where I am. I'm in the fun one, though, right? Like, Kansas City, Missouri's the fun one. Yeah. I remember that because I have performed in Kansas City, Kansas, and I came in with, like, Kansas City, Missouri energy, you know? You ever make that mistake where you come in like, yeah, and then you realize it's not that, and you're like, I'm so sorry. You share a name with something fun, and I got confused. You know, it's It's kind of like coming into Las Vegas energy, but you're in Branson. You're like, damn it, you know, I misjudged it. And here we are. So good. Very nice to be here. I'm staying at a hotel, like I said, in Kansas. I'm staying at a Marriott over there. And it is packed like it is some children's soccer tournament. And man, you know, I thought I spent 12 months in lockdown to get rid of all these people, and they're all at that damn hotel in my way. I thought, you know, I'm like, you know, this is horrible, but I will get out of these people out of my way, and they're all there, just looking like Hitler's youth running around. Hanging soccer balls and I'm sorry if any of the parents are here. I'm sure they're lovely. I'm sure they're lovely humans, but you had to do 4 apiece? Each of you got 4 kids? You kept going? 2 wasn't enough? You're like, nah. 3? No, I like even numbers. Make it 4. I just went full 4. I'm sure it's different if it's your kids, but they're not mine, so they're in the way. You know? I'm sure they're very lovely individuals. I'm sure they're going to grow up to be great people. But right now, they suck. And they're all staying at the Marriott. Anyway, I've been having fun the last couple days. I didn't do much today because it was raining, and I live in San Diego, so that means you don't go outside. From what I could tell by looking out on the freeway, you guys just went on living your lives because you're used to weather. That's not going to stop you guys, you know. But I'm from San Diego. A little bit of drizzle, we're like, all right, get the sandbags. We're done. Close down the city. Stay inside. Burn everything you got. For now, I'm not built for any sort of weather. What's up, you guys? Welcome. Yeah, they just cleared the table, brought 2 people right in. I like that. Those 2 people left, I think. Right? Yeah, I heard the argument. They're like, they were grumbling. And I'm like, well, I don't want them in here anyway. And then they're like, no, maybe you can change their mood. And I'm like, that's a lot of pressure. You know? Like you got an angry couple in the front, and I got to change their mind with what? You know? I'm just up here giggling. What am I going to do? Well, we got 2 better couples. Hell yeah. Yeah. That couple that left, they're at Subway having a sandwich. No Chipotle sauce, nothing. Just mayo, please. On white bread, make it light. Good, we got them out of here. We're trying to do something fun in here. I love it. Yeah, well, I've been touristing all the last couple days since I got in on Thursday. It was fun. We went around the city. My girlfriend came with me. Yesterday we went down to the West Bottoms. Yeah, we checked that out. That ended up being fun, which is cool, but initially terrifying, you know? Like, it doesn't have, you know, it's a classic don't judge a book by its cover situation, you know? Here's how we got there. My girlfriend was looking up, like, thrift stores to check out. She's like, I found this one. It's in the West Bottoms neighborhood. And I was like, cool, let's go. And then we come over the, you know, the freeway comes, and then you just see it, and I'm like, wait, is that it? And she's like, yeah, it's in there. And I'm like, oh, all right. Wow, okay. And it's open? It's in business? Everything's functioning? And she's like, yeah, it says. And then she's scared, I'm scared. I'm like, we'll just drive through it, you know? We'll see if anything happens. Because it looked scary. It looked like if the end of a Monopoly game was in real life. That's what the West Bottoms look like. You're like, oh, yeah, you're losing in this game. You put too many hotels on Baltic Avenue and you're paying for them in the long run. But yeah, that's what I told her. I'm like, we'll just drive through. If it's scary, we'll just keep on driving. We're all right. We're in a Nissan Altima. We got enough ponies to get out of this quagmire, you know? But then we were driving through, and I saw, like, looked in the windows from the car, looked in that, I'm like, hey, there's a hipster in there. I think we're gonna be all right. And we had a great time. We went to, like, vintage stores and, like, coffee shops and all that. It was great. It was a perfect, like, white person's afternoon. You know? That's what I'm into. I think that's what my people are into. We like going to a place that's like, hey, there's a sense of danger, but you're not gonna get hurt. You know? It's like indoor skydiving. You know, you're just like, woo! Well, we're not dying. Everything's good. It's just a sense of something, you know, but we'll be alright. So I've had a great time in your town. Underrated. You guys don't get brought up enough, I think. More people need to talk about Kansas City. Had barbecue at Joe's at the gas station. Yeah. That's right. No one's been able to tell me why there's 2 pumps outside. I was like, you guys also a gas station? They're like, what do you want? And I'm like, I guess we're not talking about it. The girlfriend's asking me questions, like, why do they have gas? I don't know. The foods? What's that?
But I told you to go to Slaps instead.
Okay, what? Oh, you left the comment on Facebook. Yeah, I asked for barbecue recommendations, and a bunch of people said Joe's, and you go to Slaps. And that was the voice that I heard when I read the comments. That's how I knew it was you. Because when I read it, you know how sometimes you read it and you can hear the person's voice? That's who I heard, like, go to Slaps! And I'm like, all right. I'm sorry, we ended up going to Joe's, but there's still time. I'm going to go tomorrow. All right? Mainly because your recommendation felt a little threatening, so I'm going to go to Slaps. I'll try them out. And, I'm very easy to please, though. Like, if I end up going to Slaps, I'm sure I'm going to love it. And if someone's like, which one do you like better? I was happy. Whichever one's in front of me. You know? I'm one of those people. I don't have, like, an educated tongue, I guess. Like, I love whatever's food in front of me is right now. You're like, which is your favorite barbecue? The one in my mouth. That's the best barbecue I've ever had in my life. I'm having a great time. What about this one? Now this is my favorite. That's just not I don't know. I have like the tongue of a 7-year-old. I'm just like, this is great. Mac and cheese, this is gourmet. Hell yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching, and thanks to the people that came out to the show in Kansas City. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you want to support monetarily, look into joining my channel. There's 3 different tiers, $1.99, $4.99, and $9.99. Go check those out, but more importantly, live comedy is back. So if you want to know if I'm coming to a town near you, go to my website, zoltancomedy.com, and sign up for the email list, and I will send out monthly blasts on where I'm at. And if you don't see your town on there, leave them in the comment section, and I'll do my best to come to you.
This is one of the best comedians San Diego's ever produced. He's got one of the best dry bar specials on the internet. You guys, give it up for Zoltan Kaszas.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right. Hot damn, I got to live up to that. All right, I'm representing all of San Diego. You ever do that? You ever go to a place in Ocean Beach and represent all of San Diego? You ever do that? You ever go to a place without air conditioning and just one fan with 150 people in there where they sell booze on a sliding scale? You ever do that? You ever represent all of San Diego? So nice to be here. Thank you guys so much for coming out. That did throw me off. I love this whole setup. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot to look at. There's too much to look at in this room. How are you supposed to pay attention to our dumb faces what is this above my head right now? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what this is. This is it's a disco ball with crap on. It's something. I don't know. Like this room, it's like hippies, but it's like hippies with a trust fund. You know what I mean? It's a little too clean in here. Like this doesn't have to work out for the owner because there's something in the will that they're gonna be just fine, just fine. There's a condo in Mission Beach waiting for him as soon as he's done playing around. I love it. I'm making fun, but honestly, what is all of that? Look at that. That's something. Yeah. I love it. I like the energy in this room. It's hot, and it just feels like everyone bought a lotto ticket. And you guys just found out right before the show started that none of that's happening. And then you're like, who's ready for comedy? And everyone's like, I guess. Yeah, start the comedy. Turn the one fan on. Let's get it going. Let's do some comedy. You know? So good to be here. Love coming to Ocean Beach. I don't live here. Clap it up if you live here in Ocean Beach. All right, good amount of you. I would say, what, a third? I don't know. That's good. Everyone else, we did it. We came. We found parking. We didn't quit. How great was that? I've quit before. I have. One time I came to do a show at Winston's years ago, and it was on a Wednesday, which is when you guys do your farmer's market in this town, which, by the way, horrible day for farmer's market, okay? That's for Saturdays, not on Wednesdays. And I went to look for parking, and there was nothing near the venue, and I just made small circles away from the venue, and I made circles big enough that I ended up back on the 8, heading east, and I'm like, I think we're done. I just went home. I called the guy and I'm like, I'm not coming. They're like, what happened? I'm like, I tried to look for parking. I ended up on the freeway. So I think I'm not coming.
I took a driving school class here, like when I was learning to drive. It was taught by a trucker who, I loved it. That was my favorite part, is when I got old enough to where teachers didn't have to be certified. You know what I mean? Like, all throughout your childhood, those teachers are rigorously certified to make sure they know what they're doing. And then you get to high school and they just kind of quit. You know? Like, most of them are, but then you get some teachers who are like, let me tell you about the government. And you're like, what? And you're like, oh, this is an ROP program. All right. This is why he loves wood. He hates society. All right? Starting to put the pieces together. I had a woodshop teacher in high school that, you ever meet someone who none of their dreams come true? So now they're stuck at a job and they never let anyone forget it? That was my woodshop teacher. I had a woodshop teacher in high school. His name was Mr. Brent. And he was pretty regular amongst other things. He had all his fingers. He wasn't one of those guys. You know, he was like, oh, he's missing a hand. No, he had all his stuff. But he was missing most of his heart. He was missing a part or section. He was a hateful man. I think he had goals and dreams, none of it worked out. Or maybe he just loved wood, but he realized he couldn't make a living with wood without teaching it to humans. And so he was just pissed all the time. And of course, woodshop's a stoner class. That's a class you take where you're like, I'm done, I finished that algebra, and now I need to fill my schedule, I'm working wood. That's what it is. That's what it is. Anyone take woodshop here? Clap it up. Cool. Nice. Do you work in wood today? Of course, because no one did. Does anyone work in wood currently? Is anyone running a mantle clock shop as we speak? Just busting out mantle clocks. Anyone making Adirondack chairs to pay the rent? Anyone doing that? No, because it's not a real job. Maybe it was one day, but that shit's made in China, and Mr. Brand couldn't let go. So he's like, and I kind of thought about him. You know, I'm sure he's in high school making his mantle clock. He's like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. And then he graduated, and they're like, that doesn't, what? You might as well have just said you wanted to be The Rock. That's not going to happen. And he's like, well, you can teach these stoner kids that don't want to be in school. And he's like, damn it. And so that's where he was. He would just yell at us constantly. I remember one day he lost it on us, and he just went around the room, and he asked each of us what our dream was, and then he told us why we wouldn't make it. I know that sounds like I just made that up out of thin air. That was a real thing that happened my junior year of high school, and it was one of my favorite moments of school, because it was this moment where he was just being brutally honest with us, and he went around the room. He started with this kid, Brock. I went to the school. This kid, Brock, he was pretty much like the Spicoli of our high school. He loved to surf. He had cool long hair, and he loved surfing. And he's like, what are you going to do with your life, Brock? And Brock was like, I want to be a professional surfer. And he's like, oh yeah? Well, have you already won any national championships? Because Kelly Slater won 2 national championships before he was even 15. You haven't done that? That means you're never going to make it. And you should realize that now before it's too late. And Brock's just like, what the hell? You can see tears welling up in his eyes. Everyone in class is like, what the hell's happening? I'm dying laughing. Because, I can't believe this is happening outside of the movie. You know? Then I went to the next person, what do you want to be? I want to be a writer, Mr. Brown. You can't even read. Are you kidding me? He just destroyed every student going down. And I'm dying laughing. This is the most entertaining thing that's ever happened in my 4 years at San Marcos High School. And then it comes to me, because he sees me laughing. He goes, Zoltan, what the hell are you laughing about? And I go, this is beautiful. That's all I could get out. I'm like, this is beautiful. And he goes, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, I I want to be a woodshop teacher like you, Mr. Brand. And there was a pause, and then he just kicked me out of class. And I had to go to the office and explain what happened. And I explained it, of course, my way. You know, what happened? He asked me what I wanted to do with my life. And then what'd you say? I said I wanted to be a woodshop teacher like he was, and he kicked me out of class. And the principal, who I think knew how I meant it, but couldn't admit it, because then we're both admitting that guy's a loser, just had to go, oh, we all have bad days.
Hey, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, review, leave a comment. Join the page if you'd like to support monetarily. But what's more important than all of those things is live comedy is back. I'm back on the road. I have upcoming shows in San Diego, Seattle, Salt Lake City, Indianapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Dallas, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. If you want to keep up with all of these, go to my website, zoltancomedy.com. And if you scroll to the bottom of the page, sign up for my mailing list, and I'll just email you where I'm going to be. That's simple enough. Cheers, everybody.